How's it going, everybody? I recently bought one of the PlayStation back button attachments, and kind of want to talk about it because nobody's really talked about using this for fighting games. What some of the pros could be, because it definitely has some advantages, and I know it's been out of stock for a while, but PlayStation recently got them back in stock, and for $30, this is a pretty useful little accessory. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the pros, maybe some of the cons, if I can think of any. But let's talk about this little controller accessory has going for it, and what you may be able to use it for. Pass it on over to my boy. Alright, so here we have the PlayStation 4 back button attachment. Alright, so connects really easily. You take the headphone jack, you'll line it up like this. Now, the headphone piece flexes for this reason. Line it up here, straight though, without flexing it, and push it straight in, and it'll flex it. Fit over the back where it's supposed to. So we have our presets. You go through them by double tapping quickly on the screen. P1, P2, and P3. Those are our three profiles. You go to a profile, you'd like to switch what's set, press and hold, it'll blink, press these buttons to rotate through. Now, what's really great about this back button attachment is you could rotate through any of the face buttons and put it for these back buttons. So any of the directionals, up, down, left, right, R1, R2, L1, L2, L3, L3, clicks, analog sticks, and then options. Honestly, you could put nothing for one button if you want. Now, here's what I find to be pretty cool for playing fighting games. In most fighting games, you know, a lot of times you can go in and remap your buttons, but you can't remap up, down, left, right. You can't remap your directional buttons like this. You could do something like this, right? Set it, and these buttons now can be your jump and forward. So you could do something like jump, and depending on what game you're playing, if you have an air dash, you could use this for jump, and then double tap for the forward dash. Or if you have certain games, your air dash might be A and B, or square and triangle. So usually you could map that. You could map that to your back button, and then that could be your dash. Boom, dash. Or you could map it for grabs, or whatever the case may be. But one of the main things is that you can actually map your directional buttons, because that's not possible generally in most fighting games, and even with other third-party controllers. You could remap those back paddles a lot of times, but some of them don't allow you to map directional buttons. So yeah, they're great for things like, you know, having a second grab button, or your dash, or putting your supers, or, you know, all four face buttons for like for Fighter Z to use Sparking Blast. Yeah, you could map, you know, things like that, but usually can't map up, down, left, and right. And for certain characters, it's beneficial in certain games. It's not across the board in all fighting games. In certain fighting games, it would be beneficial to be able to have a directional button on the back. Another pro about this is that the placement of it is generally where my middle fingers just fall when I hold this controller. Now, this might also be because I'm used to playing on 6-button style controllers and things like the Razer Ryan, where this is just generally how I grip controllers now, with my thumbs here, my index fingers across the back, and then my other three, if I could turn around, are usually like this. I know if you don't use controllers like this, you might not even grip the DualShock like that. You might grip it like this and have both buttons. But since I generally don't play games where I have to use both triggers and shoulder buttons, so it's not as necessary for me, I usually have my fingers, my middle finger behind the controller because it's just more comfortable, especially when you're mainly just pressing face buttons. Usually when I use this remote, I do have one of my index finger up here, because even in a 6-button game, I might need this for a tag like in Fighter Z, or sometimes, you know, I'll map my dash up here so I can have an extra dash button. But it's a lot nicer when it's already where your fingers fall in the back, where my middle finger just rests. So it's definitely in a good place. It's very tactile. You can hear and feel the clip when you hit them. You definitely hear and feel them. So it's not really a thing where you have to guess if you hit it or not. And it's also not a very hard press. It's a pretty sensitive press, so you don't have to apply much force. You have to be careful if you're not intending to press it. If you just have your middle finger resting back there, you have to be careful. You kind of got to be careful because it is a pretty sensitive press. The press is at the end of the button though. The press is not in the middle. You can't get anything if you press like all the way by the screen. It's not until you get to here that you could actually physically press the buttons. It's really more for the edge. It feels pretty durable, on and off. Though I've only had it maybe 2 weeks. I haven't used it too much, only because I honestly don't play DualShock. On almost every fighting game I played currently, I almost always just go with the Razer Ion, because this controller is just perfect for fighting games to me. But with that being said, I have used this when trying out. I recently got Indivisible and tried it out with this controller with the back button, and I liked it. It feels pretty comfortable even for extended periods of time. Even if you're somebody that puts your middle finger and index fingers up here, you still can rest your ring finger here and still actuate it no problem. I feel like it's a little bit more comfortable to hit with my middle fingers, but you know, if you're used to a certain kind of grip, it might not be any issue for you. It's really all user preference. All in all, I think that this is a great attachment, a great accessory. I think PlayStation waited it out so that they could just blow out all the third-party controllers, like just blow them out of the water, because $30, you can't really get any custom controllers that come at this price point. Basically what DualShock is, 65 bucks, plus the back button is 30. So you're talking 95 bucks. Most of the custom controllers are well over 100 that have back button, back paddles. So I think Sony knew what they were doing, and they definitely did it the right way, did it smart, and hopefully we see something like this carry over to the PS5. Hopefully the PS5 controller maybe has it built in. I don't know. Maybe they sell it as a separate attachment too, but it would definitely be a plus. I think it's a great accessory, great little attachment for your controller. If you already have a DualShock and you mainly play with the DualShock, I say go for it. Like I said, I play mainly fighting games because I only have 3 brain cells, so I can really only speak from the experience of playing fighting games with it, but it's in a comfortable position to swap or have additional buttons. I think it's great. I think it's a great addition. I think Sony knocked it out the park with this accessory, and I think you should definitely try it if you get the chance. But that's gonna be all I have for today, guys. This is BBQ Juice signing off. I will catch you guys next time.